Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today we're going to have a little studio sesh. I'm going to make some paint, and I'm not a professional paint maker, so I just want to put that right out there. You should be wearing a mask at the very least, maybe a respirator if you're making your own paint, but I'm not because I'm talking, and I'll also go into a little bit more why I'm just doing this little project, and I'm not going to become a paint maker. I just want to make these super granulating colors. So a little bit of backstory. When I went to teach in France earlier this year, I went to this little pastelier where they sold handmade pastels and also handmade watercolors, and they also had pigments for sale. So I purchased 4 pots of pigments. They weren't very expensive. They were between like 3 and 6 euros a pot. And I bought terre verte, manganese violet, ultramarine blue, and also Prussian blue because I was in France and I don't know, I wanted something that was kind of European, so I figured Prussian blue would be kind of European. Now, Prussian blue is not a granulating pigment. I'm not going to make this today because I'm making some colors to go in my granulating palette, and this is what I have here. It's kind of a mishmash. I've got a couple Roman small. I got a bunch of the Schmincke Supergranulating that my friend Rosie shared with me. I've got some Masha's watercolor dots there. I've got a sample here. Actually, most of those came from my friend Rosie. And I want to make a couple granulating colors. So I made these when I was in France because one of my students, thank you Conchi, she had some Oxgal and gum arabic with her. And so I mixed the pigments with those right in the palette that I was using. And I just loved how they looked. And they haven't rubbed off. You know, they're fine. They're perfectly well bound. And I'm like, I don't want to grind these with like a muller because I don't want to break down the pigments more. I want these chunky particles that are going to give me that beautiful granulation. And who knows, maybe these are pre-ground a little bit more since they came from a shop that's selling directly to artists. I don't know. But I love the way those looked, and that's what we're going to make here. So if you are looking for a tutorial on the most proper way to make handmade watercolors, this is not it. Go find somebody that does this, that has an Etsy shop that does it all the time, that is really experienced in studio safety. I chose these colors because they granulate and also because they were low toxicity. I knew that I was, you know, I know myself. I'm not going to be wearing a mask. I know I'm not going to be super duper careful. I'm not going to be using cadmiums and cobalts for that. I want something that's going to be pretty benign. So I have 3 full pans here because I prefer to use a larger pan, especially when I have like a granulating color, because I tend to want to flood a large area and use a big brush. So I want to use bigger pans. Actually, if I had my druthers, I would use these ceramic pans here, but they weren't available open stock. I just have this one spare one. But these from St. Louis Art Supply, which I think they're going to be selling individually eventually, those would have been ideal. Nice big well, or some empty Gansai Tampi pans. But I was looking through my ones that were almost used up, but I still didn't have enough that were empty enough for me to justify scooping out the rest to reuse. So with all that out of the way, oh my gosh, 3 minutes in, let's get going here. So I have some gum arabic, some glycerin, and some oxgal. But I also have something that I want to try that is watercolor medium. And I bought this from, Da Vinci had a big paint sale back, they do them actually every year around the holidays, around Black Friday, and they have like 60% off list price. And I decided I wanted to try this. This is watercolor medium, and it says mix into watercolors to increase dispension flow, and it says contains natural gum arabic. So and it also has odorless additives and water. So I'm thinking it's got either an oxgal or a synthetic oxgal. It's got gum arabic, which is the binder. So all I really need to add is the glycerin, which is a humectant. So when you're making a paint, or when you're thinking about what's in your watercolor, you have several different ingredients. You have, number one, the pigment. That's what gives it the color. The more expensive the paint, the more pigment is used generally. Then you have a binder, which is usually gum arabic, or it might be aquazole if you have if it's core, but you got something to stick it to the paper. And then you've got a suffoctant. Oh my gosh, I can't say that word. But basically, it's what makes the paint flow. It's kind of like, you know how if you put soap into water, it makes the water wetter, makes the water flow more. So generally they use oxgal, which is a byproduct of the meat industry. You know, it's the stomach lining, I think, has something to do, or gallbladder, something, the gallbladder of cows, that they use that, or there's artificial ones, which would be probably whatever is in soap. And then you've got the humectant, which is either glycerin or honey. It's something that's going to attract moisture from the air and keep your paints turning back into rocks, basically. And I was really excited to make terre verte because terre verte is so hard to re-wet. Anytime I've ever purchased terre verte in a tube or even a pan, it's very difficult to re-wet and it's very weak. So I'm hoping that maybe I can improve the wheel. I don't know why I think delusions of grandeur over here. I think I can make a better terre verte, but I loved how this came out, and it may turn out that I have to just make it fresh every time I want to use it, but heck, I'm going to give it a try because I got these big pots of pigments, so why the heck not, right? So let's start off with the terre verte, and I am going to start off by getting a scoop of that. These are never to be used with food again. You're probably horrified. I've got a baby spoon. No, these are left. I saved them when my babies got old enough to use regular stuff. So I'm just putting it right in the pan. So like I said, if I was a proper watercolor paint maker, I would be putting it on a slab, adding all these ingredients, and then mixing them up. But I'm not. I am a hack. And this is a studio sesh, and I'm going to add some watercolor medium. And you can see it doesn't really want to mix with that, but that's all right. We're going to mix it up. Maybe I shouldn't have filled it so full, but well, you know what? If I get this too full, I'll dump it in that big ceramic pan that I have. Now, should I be doing this particular project right now? No, I shouldn't. This is procrastinating right here. This is when I've got content due tomorrow for my November Michael's class. That's what I should be doing right exactly now. I'm working on a new class for my Teachable school. Why am I doing this over my mat? I should do this over a piece of paper. Good grief. That I could like fold up and actually pour back, or even just a piece of plastic or something. Okay. Maybe I can scoop this back up. Gosh, I hate to waste a micron of material here. Yeah, now I can mix it with abandon here. This is probably not very interesting, but you know, this is a studio sesh. I'm sure you're tidying or doing something more productive than me at the moment. Oh, here we go. It's mixing now. All right, so what I think we need to do is not put quite so much in right off the bat. Ooh, look at that. We're getting a really satisfying paste going on here. I'm liking that. I am quite a bit. Yeah, so I'm just using the Da Vinci watercolor medium, which I'm assuming is, I know it has gum arabic plus a flow aid, so I'm just going to add some glycerin to that, just to make sure it's got a humectant, because otherwise terre verte is just a miserable rock of stuff when you're done. I'm not going to make too much of it either, though, because, gosh, you know what? The first rule about Fight Club is you close your pot of paint up here. Spilling this would be a big drag. Such a big drag. Oh, I feel out of practice. You know, do you ever do that? Like, you haven't done anything in a while? And not out of practice in paint making, just out of practice in video making, I guess. Alright, let me see if I can pour those crumbs back in. I'm going to put a few drops of glycerin in here. This is just from the health food store, vegetable glycerin. Most glycerin is vegetable glycerin. I guess they can make it... Oh, there's several drops. I probably don't need that much. That's probably overkill. But I think if you're going to like a pharmacy or a health food store or a craft store, you're going to be getting vegetable glycerin. And I don't know where the cheapest place or the best place to buy it is, but I get it at the health food store because I'll also use it for like if I was going to make candy or something like that. I haven't done that in ages, but when you make taffy, you need to have glycerin. All right, I think that's pretty good. So let's do a little sample. I do have some test paper there, but I think that paper, honestly, I think the sizing's gone off on that, and I love this paper, so I'm just going to skip ahead in this book. And actually, maybe I have an area that I have some blank space on. I'll do it here. We'll do it here. We got a little scrap left over from World Watercolor Month. Okay, need a brush. I'm so prepared. I thought I was prepared. but I wasn't because I had no brush. We'll take this guy here. I'm also just going to go ahead and clean up my little mat. I am a hobo. Well, we'll see what our pigment load is like. I think I got that pretty well mixed up. Well, terre verte is normally weak, but I kind of feel like that seems weak. Let me pick up some of my grime here. I feel like I want to put more pigment in there. It's got that telltale, oh gosh. I was gonna say, it's got that telltale goopy terre verte feel to it. Well, you know what? I don't think I have that as mixed up as I thought I did. I think I'm seeing some powder there in the corner. Gosh, riveting. I'm going to get a toothpick out and stir that up a little bit more. I don't know. I guess I won't be able to tell till it dries, really, what sort of situation I got going on there. It just feels kind of thick, but you know what? Terre verte does feel thick when you use it. And that is pretty pigmented considering it's terre verte. Let me get a little bit more water. You gotta make sure you have a really wet wash. Oh, actually. Alright, we'll let these dry. We'll see what they look like. I can always alter them. They're not going to dry right away. Okay. We're just going to leave that be. And I don't think I need to label that because it's clear to what it is. I'm just going to pop it in my palette. Alright, the next color I'm going to do is manganese blue. I'm going to wipe off my spoon here. Maybe I'll do a little bit less. Set that away so I don't tip it over, but I'm going to leave it open in case I need more. I'm going to do a few drops of the watercolor medium. Alright, just put 4 drops in there. I have no idea. I'm going to clean off my little silicone tool. I'm going to give this a stir. Oh, this one's mixing much easier. It's almost like the terre verte. I think the terre verte is like hydrophobic. And that's probably where milling comes in. It probably forces everything together a lot better. Alright. Wow, that mixed up so much easier. Let's give that a try. Ooh, look at that. That's gorge. Okay, I want to make more of that. Yeah, I like that. I don't even know if I need the glycerin. The glycerin seemed to make that kind of thick. But I'm afraid I won't be able to re-wet it. I guess if I was just making up enough to use, like, for one session, I would not put the glycerin in, but I think I'm going to need it. I'm going to try to mix this up without more watercolor medium first and see how it goes. I think that was about right, though. Yeah, I'm going to need a little bit more. It's not even wanting to combine. I might put 2 drops in. Let's see what that does. I'm not intending to fill these to the top because I don't think I can. I don't think I have room to I'd have to mix in something else and then scrape it in. And as we have discussed, I'm lazy. And I think I will add a little bit of glycerin so it will be easier to re-wet this. Using a clean pipette so that if I do want to use that for food again, which I probably won't, because there's not much left in there anyway. My taffy days are over. My taffy days are behind me. Plus, I don't want to fill these all the way because if I do need to add water to them to get them to reactivate, I want there to be room to do that. But it's amazing how much it like compresses down when you look. Oh, I can see the granulation already. I love it. I had several requests for this video, so hopefully people who were excited about it haven't forgotten. There. I think that's good. Let's do one last little test here of the color. Clean off the edge of my palette. I won't drop it in my palette. Actually, I can because I can get that up pretty easily. I don't have any glue under it yet. Oh yeah, that looks good. I like that. Yeah, I think the glycerin's going to make that shiny, that terre verte. Oh, yeah. I can already see kind of like a shininess. That's not ideal. I can see it over there too. That's going to have to be, that's going to have more, I don't know. It's going to have to have more pigment and less medium, but then it's going to be too hard to reactivate. I guess terre verte's going to be a as needed. I'm probably just going to have to do that one as needed. I can already see that it's not drying very well and it's getting glossy. Oh, that's a bummer. Oh well. Yeah, I guess I'll just have to do that one as needed. Not a big deal. Not a big deal whatsoever. Alright, last one we're going to do is ultramarine blue. And that's my favorite. Wipe off my spoon. Look at that. Isn't that the most gorgeous color? I love it. That is my most often one I need to refill in my palette. I just put 4 drops in there. I might need to, I'll probably need to do more. I probably shouldn't have put so much pigment in right off the bat, but I was so excited. So how do you procrastinate? I think I just heard somebody come in upstairs. I'll be right back. Alright, that was my darling daughter. It came to, she forgot her charging cord. So I'm just going to put a little drop of glycerin. Maybe that has glycerin in it. I can't imagine it would. But, oh actually I might have a, yeah, I'll just use what's left in there. Well, just a smidgen more, maybe. There, I don't want too much. I don't want it to get glossy. I have a feeling that's going to get glossy. I kind of see it already. I think that the terre verte is best just to mix up as needed. And as I'm working on this third pan, I have to say I think that you're better off to put just a tiny bit of pigment in the pan. And I don't know if it's probably no less work than doing it the proper way. I'm just trying to save, well no, it's definitely less work. But like I could be mixing this on something larger and then scraping it into the pan. That's probably a better idea, but we've come this far down the road. I'm putting another drop or 2 of the watercolor medium. I might just have to add a little bit of water into this too, because this is really stiff. So I've been excited about doing this project since I bought those pigments, but you know how, I'm sure you've had that happen. You buy something, you're so excited to use it, and then you get it home, and time goes by, and for whatever reason it doesn't get used, well, then you forget about it until you're you know, setting up to do something else, and you're like, oh yeah, I meant to use that thing. All right, let's test that out. Clean off my toothpick. So if it's too glossy, I'll just add more, I'll add some water and I'll add some more pigment. Ooh, that is so gorgeous. A little more water in there. Oh, look how vibrant. Oh, I love it. It's not looking goopy. It looks like it's absorbing into the paper the way I want it to. I think that one's all right. Terre verte, and you know, there's really not that much paint in this pan, but, you know, I'll see how far this goes, and then maybe I'll make up a bunch of, actually, maybe I'll get some porcelain pans and make a big pan of this. I have a big pan of ultramarine from Paul Rubens, and I have one from Tonic, so I could probably just wait till those are used up and then do that. Oh yeah, I love that. I love that. All right, I'm gonna pop that into my palette and maybe wipe off some of the excess on the sides. All right, there you have it. We made some paint. We made some paint. I've got some videos on making metallic and iridescent paints. You can see I'm just gonna let it dry in there with my other granulating colors, and yeah, that's that. Yeah, I'm bummed about, kind of bummed about the terre verte, but that just means I'll have to use it fresh, and I wonder if I could just kind of add this to, you know what might actually work? What if I put this in a pan and I just added enough water just to kind of get it to press down like eyeshadow or something, and I wonder if that would reactivate, because you know how you can like add water to a pastel. Oh man, I'm trying to get this out of the pan now. You know how like you can just take a wet brush and you can run it across a chalk pastel and the colors will come. I wonder if I could do that with this, or maybe I can mix it with something else. I can mix it with like some chrome oxide green or something to get a little bit more boost of color, but get a little more granulation, because I don't love chrome oxide green, but it is more pigmented. So that's what I'm going to do. Let me find a tube of chrome oxide green to mix in there. It was actually a bit of a hunt because I don't really like that color much, so I don't have much of it. But it is a granulating green, but it doesn't granulate as much as I would like, and it looks kind of baby poopish. But I'm wondering if I mix it with this, if I would like that a little bit better. And will it be a true terre verte? No, it will not. But if it's a color that I'll use and I'll like and will re-wet and will meet my needs, that's really what's important to me anyway. You can obviously do what you want to do because it's your life. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. I'm not your mother. You do whatever you want to do. Maybe I would... Let's see what this looks like. I just want to get it good and mixed. All right. Let's make sure I'm getting that. Boy, that chrome oxide looks very potent. Okay, where's my brush? I'm going to clean off the toothpick here. Oh, I like that better. That's better. And I don't think it's going to have the gloss issue. I don't think it's going to be glossy. I think we're good. I think I'm going to put just a little smidgen more of the terre verte powder in there and see if I can get it to take. But that looks prettier than chrome oxide green. I'll tell you that right now. Wipe off this spoon. Actual legitimate paint makers are probably crying right now. They're clutching their pearls. Oh, I put too much in there. That's alright. Like, hopefully. Oh, why did I put so much in there? Why did you guys tell me? Somebody's like, I'm yelling at the screen right now. Oh, for goodness sake, why did I do this? I put too much in there, and it doesn't want to mix, because it's hydrophobic. I'm wasting all this pigment. Oh, good grief. That's alright. You know what? I'm going to mix this in, and then I'm going to take... I'm just going to... Here we go. But actually, if this makes me use my chrome oxide green, and it gives me a beautiful granulating color, that's all I want. That's all I need out of life. I'm a simple woman. There, you know what? I think that's gonna... Kind of reminds me of the consistency of the Roman small pans that I have. Can we scoop you guys back in there? But hey, you know, what did I pay for these? I didn't pay that much for these powders, and I've already had that much fun just messing around with them in my sketchbook, so I'm going to call that a win. Definitely going to call it a win. Alright, I think that's what all this is going to take, to see how it's not, it's just kind of like not leveling out, not laying down. I think I've got that as probably as good as I can. Get what I can back in the pan and level it out. Sorry for the cringing that probably a lot of you are doing. Alright, let's test that out. I know it's not going to be an exact, perfect... Oh, I like that. Very nice. I'm testing on a few different papers. I think that's going to work just fine. Oh yeah. That's lovely. Just look at it really watered down on this paper there. I think that looks really pretty. Alright, I'm going to clean... I want to clean the edges of this. Oh yeah, there we go. That's what I want. That's a really pretty color. That's the texture that I want. That's the color that I want. It's terre verte, only better. Alright, you can go back in the palette. Ugh. Oh man, look at that. Holy, supergranulating. Well, that might be a little more granulating. Look at that though. Oh, I love it. I love it. It's an effect. It's an effect. Might not be for everyone. Looks a little weird, but I love it. I love it. Okay. I am happy with my results here. I'm going to do a little swatch of that ultramarine on here and see how that looks. I'm going to take some from my pan. This is just, I don't even know what this paper is. What is this? Oh, it's Bauhong. It's the back side of some Bauhong. Because I had painted something on the front side, and I guess I decided that I didn't like that, so I threw it down on my table, face down, to use as a scrap. We'll do a little scrap of the manganese violet. That's nice. I like that. Oh, it's pretty with the ultramarine too. Alright, I think I'm done here. I think I'm good. I hope that you enjoyed this little studio sesh and gave you a little bit of a break from whatever project you were procrastinating. There's our finished little swatches there, but we did improve on the chrome oxide. I think I'll dry it really quick and just, yeah, I'm gonna wash my hands very well when I'm done and wash up my surface. But let's just dry the latest of the chrome oxide, make sure it's not shiny. That's the first batch. I think that's going to be shiny. And we can also test to make sure it doesn't rub off or smear when it's dry. So let's just do that real quick. And these, the granulating colors, I just use them for like accents or for big backgrounds. I'm not using them for glazing or any like really technique-y techniques. So they can be a little random. That one that had the too much glycerin, see how long it's taken to dry? It's because it's like grabbing so much moisture from the air. And, oh, maybe it's not going to be too glossy, but it definitely was taking longer to dry. I could see that it was on the verge of being too glossy. I might have been alright with it, actually. That can also be from too much gum arabic. Let's see, does it feel? Paint seems to be staying put. That one feels a little crusty. I think we're good. I think we're good. Alright, well that was my little studio sesh for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Now I gotta actually do some work. Isn't that sad? I'll clean up this mess. Maybe I'll have a little lunch first. Then I'm gonna do some work. No, I better do my work before I have lunch because sometimes you get a little, like, you want a little nap after you have a little lunch. So, okay, I'm gonna clean up and I'm gonna do my actual work I need to get done. I hope you're getting something done that you want to get done today, or maybe you're just farting around and enjoying yourself in your studio. That's good too. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoy this random, I don't even know what to call it. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye.